The boards, that's definitely messed up. See how that's black? You are now watching Farming with Duffy Ag. Welcome back to the channel. 4:30. Sun's coming up. We got a service call. So, headed to the farm. My family's farm. And we're gonna get going for the day. Alrighty. We are headed to the farm. Checking out corn as we drive by. So 4 o'clock, get a phone call from my father. Robot's not working. Okay, what's going on? Camera not responding. That leads me to 3 things. Glitch in the software, because there was a glitch in some of the software that it would come up with that. I said, okay, restart it. If it comes right back, we got an issue. Restarts it. Yep, comes right back. Narrows it down to 2 things now. Camera cable or camera. So, camera cable more than likely it. I've had a few cameras that have failed on the baseboards, but not many. And I have baseboards and stuff like that. I have cameras to switch it out. But camera cables, yeah, I got quite a few of them because cord gets rubbed. Camera base gets corroded, and that's usually the biggest one. But okay, we'll jump over there, take the head apart. I'll show you guys what I do for a day job, and then after I get done with that, I'll go right to work. So appreciate you guys watching along. It's gonna be a beautiful morning. Corn's looking killer. It needs some rain. Well, it's not shriveled up right now because it well, it's like 60 something degrees out, so the heat hasn't got to it. I still got a rotary mow on the edge of the fields, clean it up some, but yeah, that stuff looks good. I'll jump over here and we'll get going. Ooh-wee. Good sunrise over there. It's always nice to start your day off. Well, I gotta move my cultivator discs, go put them somewhere, but they're all sitting there for right now. 4230, I don't know what it runs. Hell of a unit right here. Sunset's about gone now. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Here we go. Our older robot. So this was put in 2010, started up in 2011. Newer robot, 3 years, 4 years. So 4 years, going on its 4th year. What do we have? So this is a camera. This is a whole head. I did see, I think, yeah, this is cracked back here. So as I take everything apart, we might as well switch this gable end out. I'll show you once it's out, but everything I need to take the head apart, new camera cable, new bolts, because this one's a little tired there. And we'll dive into it. So Allen wrenches and nut drivers, everything's metric. Robot is made in Sweden. So there's 4 bolts that actually hold it all together. Take those 4 bolts off, it pops up. You got connections at that point. This base plate's a little egged out from years. We're not a sand barn here. Sand barns, I just have more wear and tear on all these components. So we switch them out and update stuff to be better in sand, but sand is just rough on stuff. Great for cows, horrible for anything else. So The first time people take this apart, as far as my farms I work with, everybody gets a little freaked out, losing stuff, things like that. That's not too bad. I learned most of this by just doing and figuring it out. In the 11 years that we've had a robot. Might as well take that end plate off as long as it's sitting here. Bigger than that, yep. Oh, that's actually broken. Some cow kicked the hell out of that. Look at that. Alrighty, I do have another one of them. I kind of know what to have for spares of stuff. So I'll pop that out. It's always good to rethread everything so that you don't lose nothing. And this comes right out. And even though it gets cleaned out, look how nasty it gets in there. And this is actually not the worst I've seen. So, like stainless steel grippers, those make a difference. And sand barns and non-sand barns, depends how long it takes. Well, let me grab the hose. Oh, somebody left it on. So just give it a rinse out. What I'm gonna do is take this bottom plate, and that's gonna come right off. I see there's junk built up around it, so. Oh, there is no hose shut off on this one. That's odd. It's like a little handle thing. The other one must have broke. Good morning. So 4 bolts here. This bottom plate pops off, and then we got the camera. I've had very bad times with these before, and I've had good times. So it depends if these are seized on there or not. If they are seized on there and you have to drill them all out, not that much fun. And there's only 3 in this right now, so one of them must have fallen out at some point. And that's not an uncommon thing, but so I'll have to grab another one out of my collection of nuts and bolts. Take the camera cleaner elbow off. Alrighty. So right here, there's a little bar, and it actually sprays down water and air to clean the camera. There you go. There's the base plate. That's been on there for quite a long time. That's out of aluminum. Oh, it's silicone that somebody packed in there. It's tries to prevent the seals from ever leaking, but that doesn't work out usually. We'll open it up and see what we got inside of it. Okay. Corrosion on the, let me show you. I got one pin that's a little messed up there. Nothing. Yep. Actually, the pins might be bad. But the camera, or the cable on the boards, that's definitely messed up. See how that's black? So, let me clean them up, see what I got. I just wiped that one down and it actually cleaned up, so when they go bad, I don't know if this thing will focus much for you guys or not. When they go bad, you'll see them burnt across or gone. So camera should be good. It will just be the baseboard. So the seal that went around it just fails. I think, I don't know the last time I had this apart. So that's good. We'll pull a cable, we'll leave this in here so nothing gets in it. Do a new cable. So in the box, or in the back, we got everything. You just gotta pull it here, goes up here, goes over there, goes around this pillar, drops in. There's a box right there. So we'll get ladder over here, pop that open, unhook this, snip the end off, tape it. Usually you gotta take this off, this cover, because it's a pivot point. And you gotta pull it to here and then pull it to there. Once you're there, it's easy to go up that way, but yeah. You learn by doing the quickest ways and easiest ways to do it, especially if you're by yourself and you're pulling lines and whatnot. Pop that off. There we go, now it's unattached. So, in this box here, each one of these is an encoder. Encoder, encoder, encoder. Tells the arm where the position is. Then you got rear sensor, you got the inputs and outputs of the hydraulics, communication coming in, and as you see, I unhooked the encoder already. So you got your main board, then you got like a converter board, I guess it would be. So it's going from 24 volts to this is putting 12 to the back, and then this black box underneath it is actually the hard drive of the system. So this box is the brains, it tells a lot of things. So we're unhooked, we can cut that other end. We'll unhook this, and then we'll have to pull it all up and around. New one. Comes with new bolts, new ground wire, new seal, of course. So let me show you. This one right there, see that little black the one is black. Yeah, corroded. Maybe I could clean it up. Nothing worse though, cleaning it up and then like a week later having to pull a new one anyways. New one. There's the difference. So, it's either not telling the camera what to look for or not responding back with a nice happiness. So, pull this wire through. Should be happy at that point. Always wipe it dry, then tape it on, and then hope that it pulls through nicely. Nothing worse than it slipping off and you gotta send an air line down. Okay. we go. People wonder how I get dirty so quick. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna have a eventful day, I can tell. Now we just gotta wire it. So usually I cut the end off so that you wire it one at a time. It's always awkward when you wire something wrong. Here not as bad because you can pop the other robot open and be like, oops. But if you have one robot and you wire it wrong, there's no looking back. You gotta pull up the diagrams and make sure. Yes, and that air regulator, they always leak a little bit. That one leaks a little more than normal. But it's been like that for years. So I just keep doing my thing with it. So once we get this wired, we can throw that camera back on and start reassembling. At least that's, hopefully. Don't get too far ahead of yourself ever in this game because it will bite you. Okay, time for reassembly. So this is not a standard Dela valve head. It has a sand kit in it. Even though we're not sand, it just makes it last longer. So there's a bit bushing in the top, or a ball bearing in the top, ball bearing in the bottom. This plate itself is aluminum. As you see over the years, aluminum gets eaten out, but still got some life in it. But it's lighter. Seems to work out better. The only problem is those holes get egg-shaped. As grippers wear. We'll throw the camera back together. This can only go one way. Make sure you put your seal in, otherwise it will fail instantly. So we come over here. And yes, that other one had a seal when it came out. So new nuts, new everything. We do have the ground wire to swap out, which is that. But alrighty, seal. Make sure it sits right in there. This only goes together one way. So it's got a notch on this. And they're actually marked so that you only put them together with the bolts one way. So the bolts are actually color coded, which is helpful. Because they are different lengths. Do different things. So there's a black bolt and there's a white bolt, and then the base plate itself is actually colored. Let me show you. So see how there's a white mark there? Well, there's a white bolt there, and then there's a black one there. So the ground goes off that back side. This is where holding a camera doesn't help me out. Let me throw you back here and finish this up before I pull something apart. So then we got your ground, your lock washer, throw that together, Allen wrench, and if you put them together wrong, that seal leaks. So don't do that. Trust me. Okay, we're good there. Slide the plate back over. These plates are used for both left and right hand robots, so depending on which way it goes. But make sure you put it back together right. Otherwise it's coming back apart. Put a dab of Loctite in it. Not too much, because at some point you got to take it back apart to do stuff like this, and it's really not that much fun if it's locked right in there. Do not forget to hook your airline back up. That goes to the lens. Because otherwise that won't work, and then that's a pretty handy thing. If it's not working, people notice real quick. So that's back together. We are good there. I'll climb up there, I'll plug it in. The lights should power up. And then they should go off. That lens needs to be cleaned some. It'll take a minute for them to go back off. So now we can start reassembling. Old part? Yep. Cal must have kicked it pretty good. New part. Even new bolt. So this holds the tubes when it is milking the cow, so they're not sitting on the ground, or the cow can dance around and step on them, anything like that. So it does help quite a bit. Alrighty, new bolts. I cut them down because the ones they always send are way too long, so I had to grab my grinder. Cut them down. Head's good, things are good. At some point I gotta put a new top on. This still got some life to them. Always trim these back so that people actually clean and actually see them clean up there. But we're good to go now. Let's see what it does. Don't be shy, girl, you're on camera. Our cows are pretty relaxed here. So what it does first, it's gonna come in, grab the wash cup. I figured it might be messed up because of how I just adjusted things. Oh, it's got it. So there's a gripper sensor inside of there that tells it where the wash cup that it actually has a cup inside of it. So it's gonna wash each individual sheet, which is water solution, cleaning solution, and then vacuum dried. It's like a jacuzzi spinning around inside there. And then it pulls down as it's doing that, which allows air to go by and vacuum dries it. So we'll do each one. It's set on medium. So you got 4 different settings, and then you can do doubles for cows that like lay in the alley or that are extremely dirty. This brush has to get changed out. Might as well do that while it milks this cow. It's always good to watch a cow or two milk after you do something, because it's nothing worse than walking away and having it not actually continue to do it. So she's gonna make 37.6 pounds is what it figures. We'll click on our cow card. Damn, she's a good heifer. 332 days of milk. Or no, second lactation. 332 days of milk, 77.3 pounds. As an average, you can see if she kicks it off or if she's incomplete. This is by day, this is by milking. So like her right front, she kicked it off, so it knows that it lost vacuum when it was still had flow. Or she was incomplete in that quarter. But overall, she does her own thing. So now, it's gonna attach them. So it finds the front one. This is where like the V300 is a lot quicker at attachment, especially if they're tighter on the rears. And as you see, it starts flowing in each quarter. Expected yield, so holding hoses, that looks good. See this piece? So somebody must have kicked it, probably a new heifer or something, cracked this old one here. It's all cracked off, and then that led to this snapping. So it is the nature of it. Well, looks good from there, so I'm gonna clean up my mess and probably get going down the road to work. Alrighty, off to work we go. Milked 3 cows. Things are good. Whew. Gonna be a long day. It's Taco Tuesday too, so appreciate you guys watching along though on this. A little bit of insight of what I actually do for my day job, as I call it. Yeah, it's a lot of technical stuff, but everything from that to herd management stuff to startups to install to everything. So I don't show it as much because, as I've said, I'm doing it on somebody else's time, but like this morning, did it on the farm's time. So figured I'd show you guys along to give you a little insight of it. But appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.